All right, welcome back, Pokemon Go players, to another episode of the Purified podcast. Today is September 6th, 2021. I am your host, Luis Palacios, with my co-host, Chris.
Hi, it's your boy, Pokemon Trigger, please. How are you doing, Lewis?
I'm doing all right. Better than somebody who's literally been playing Unite for 2 seconds before the podcast started.
It's a warm-up. It's a warm-up for the hype.
Oh my god. Oh man. It's just one of those things when it comes down to it. But I guess it is. Well, we are here once again to talk about Pokemon Go news, updates, and ranting about the game because we love the game just as much as you do. I keep forgetting that my camera is this way, but you are here, so I don't know what I'm gonna do. Anyways, let's remind everybody that we are part of the Professor Network. Please check us out at professornetwork.com/purifiedpodcast. Wonderful people to work with every single time. Check them out. They have wonderful things. Talk about Pokemon Go. They even are part of the Niantic content creator network, so that'd be great. If one day we actually get to that point, but if we get to that point, one day. Let's keep on making podcasts, shall we? But yeah, how was your week so far there, Chris?
It's been... I think it's been a lot more eventful this week for me in Pokemon Go, as opposed to last week, for sure.
I can tell you that mine wasn't as eventful.
No?
Mm-mm.
Definitely...
It's been...
I
we can talk to each other.
Last week...
So keep talking. Keep going.
Sorry. I know last week I didn't get any shinies or hundos. But this week I know I have at least a little bit of goodies. Yeah, just loading up real quick. I know off the top of my head I got a shiny Pidgey. And the other day I got a shiny Totodile, which was funny because I think the Totodile was a home spawn, and it just happened to be the first click I clicked on when I logged in one day. So that was kind of cool, but I don't know what else I got. I feel like I got some more, but I may be wrong.
Well, while you keep checking, I can tell you this much, and confirmation just by looking at my own storage here. I did not get any shinies this week. Nothing. Well, actually, no. Hold on. When did this hatch? This hatch on the 2nd.
Yeah, that should have hatched this week.
Yeah, I got a shiny. At least I got something this week. I actually didn't think I was gonna get anything today or last week. But yeah, I hatched the last batch of the Ultra Unlocked Part 3X did actually hatch during last week. So yes, I got the shiny Zigzagoon, which is actually a 96%, 15, 13 attack, 13 last one.
Use that boy in Master League.
Yes, I finally got a good one, even though I wanted the Hundo or Shundo, but whatever. Beggars can be choosers. It is my final one that I needed to complete the family. So I do have the full family shiny Zigzagoon, Galarian Zigzagoon family part there. So I'm happy. At least I did that. I can actually confirm that I did not get any Hundos last week.
Same. Yeah. Hundos, they don't go with me.
Yeah, but at least you're supposed to have one Hundo every week, at least one. But no, nothing happened this week. I broke my streak, but I guess that's how it goes, Plus, plus I'm trying to get like 5 great throws great curveball throws in a row for a spin the quiz here. Yeah. Okay, cool. Well, that's gonna be interesting. All right, well, we already recap our shinies and hundos. Nothing notable. No crazy shinies. No, well, I technically got a crazy shiny, but you didn't get a crazy hundo or anything. So it is what it is. However, let's go ahead and recap the 2 events that happened last week. One of them was, of course, the Season of Mischief happening on September 1st, and which is our entire season's worth of spawns and things like that. And then we're also going to be talking about the Hoopa's Arrival that happened on September 5th, which was yesterday, which we would have actually streamed yesterday if I didn't want to go see Shining and the Legend of the Ten Rings yesterday, because I wanted to see that movie. I literally wanted to see that movie. So that's that's one of the reasons why I actually didn't stream or thought of doing the podcast yesterday. So
Yeah, I don't want to get too much into it, but was the movie good?
Oh yeah, it was good. It was very
Okay.
very good. Uh,
Okay.
I do believe that it sets up a lot of different things for the NCU.
Going forward.
Yeah, going forward with the NCU. So, and you definitely want to stay until the end credits for this. Just just
Interesting.
like any other Marvel movie, except for Endgame, probably. But you know, so yeah. So that was one of the reasons why I didn't stream yesterday. My friend actually said, "Hey, let's go watch it." I was like, "Okay, cool." I didn't really want it to go by myself, anyways. Kind of one of those things, anyways. However, let's get off the topic of that and let's talk about Season of Mischief. We have new spawns, new legendaries, new things. Just not mentioned in the last podcast. But what do you think of the spawns and the Season of Mischief so far, there, Chris?
They are pretty fun.
Yeah.
I'm not saying like every single click is a shiny chance, but these are a very cool mix. I think I said before, a lot of these Pokemon are Pokemon that you only really see at night normally.
Yeah.
Like the dark types and ghost types.
Yep.
So it's definitely cool to be able to grind them in the middle of the day, even.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. Definitely. Some interesting ones for sure out there. Heracross is still spawning for us. Ditto is now in the wild. I
Yes,
finally got
it's
it.
been spawning like crazy.
Well, here's the thing. Whenever we had like a Ditto supposedly to be a Ditto in the wild or something like that, it's supposed to also be part of the Season of Mischief spawns. But every time I see like a Teddiursa that's not supposed to be there or a Drowsy that's not supposed to be there, I'm like, this is not Weather Boost. This is not something. So it could be a Ditto. So it's kind of like maybe, just maybe, it's possible. Also, Sparrow is actually spawning in the wild too. So that's another shiny I need.
You're like, please don't be shiny Pokemon. You might be a shiny Ditto.
I know, right? Actually, for some reason, that's my train of thought is like, don't be shiny, and I'm like, okay, cool. Now it could be a Ditto. I'm like, what the heck? What the heck are we in reverse psychology?
Isn't
is
that
this?
weird?
I know, right? It's crazy. It blows my mind that I'm actually looking for non-shiny Pokemon. Niantic, kudos to this one. I do understand this is the thrill of the hunt, and this is like a reverse psychology type of BS that you
Touche.
put on there. So incredible, really. But yeah, so spawns have been pretty decent. There is notes and opportunities for a shiny wild Espeon. So Espeon is now spawning in the wild, and the shiny available. I'm not sure about Umbreon just yet, and that's probably because I don't think I've seen a lot of spawns them out there yet. But we'll see. And it's cool to see something different than just our regular, seasonal spawn shinies and things like that, because something like an Eevee evolution, especially Espeon, who hasn't really had a wild encounterable Pokemon until recently, to be shiny too, kind of makes me wonder how the other ones are going to fare out. I kind of want to see that, but I don't know. I don't think I've seen reports of other shiny Eevee evolutions out there.
Yeah, that's one of the things that's always kind of rubbed me the wrong way about Pokemon Go is just that you can't encounter evolved shiny Pokemon.
Right.
And I know some of their reasoning for it, so you don't like have it run on you because there isn't a Master Ball in the game, so there isn't a safe bet to catch evolved Pokemon.
Right.
But it is so annoying knowing like you're clicking on like a I don't know, like a Ferrothorn or something in the wild. I don't think they spawn in the wild, but like if you found one, it's not going to be shiny right now. So it's kind of sad, but it is cool when they add new ones.
Yeah, I totally agree. I would like them to release a little bit more of the shiny variants of things that we already seen. Espeon is kind of like the Gen 2 Pokemon that we never thought we were going to see wild shiny. But we have there, and there's still a ton of Gen 1 Pokemons that I wish it was shiny in the wild. That could be shiny if they actually go ahead and put it out there, so...
Flip the switch, yeah.
Yeah, flip the switch on those shinies, if possible, So, it kind of makes you wonder what Niantic's plans are. I understand they want to keep the game as fresh as possible when it comes to, like, new seasons and events, but... I don't know, man. It's been 5 years. We don't need to see, like... a Pidgeotto, and then all of a sudden I'd be shiny or something, So it's kind of one of those things in the end of the day. But yeah, no, I believe it's one of those things. Real quick, I'm gonna say hi to the chat there. Ganta, thank you very much for joining us. Manolito, thank you very much for joining us. If you also wanna, come and see us. We do live stream this podcast live on twitch.tv/purelighter. A little forward there, since this is how we do things. Anyway, so Season of Mishi is pretty good. And then, of course, just like you said here in the notes, Lugia for the 10,000th time. I was going to say the 25,000th time, but you know. So Lugia with Aeroblast is interesting. It's still a powerful Pokemon in Master League if you were to look into it. But it's not something that I've been like really actively hunting out there anyways.
It's a really interesting Master League Pokemon for sure.
Yeah.
I don't think I don't know. I'd put it in the same realm as like Yveltal. It's very hard to hard counter it, I feel like.
Right.
Very good Pokemon though.
Yeah, definitely. Aeroblast also makes it a lot more viable in the Master League. So, with that being said, of course, we are not gonna see Master League for another few weeks in that regard. So it's not that it is incredibly like having to look for it and everything like that, which it will be cool. It is one of the very first legendaries we got out there. It could be cool if we actually get it as a level 50. But as we've seen, this Pokemon is probably gonna come back plenty of times for the next few weeks or for next few months or next few years. I don't know. It depends on how the game or how they process the game anyways. But yeah, so Lugia, System Shifties, solid so far. We're not gonna really give it a rating because we still have like the entire 4 months of the year with this season anyway, so ending it by either November or September, so we'll see how it goes because we're definitely going to see some kind of event before December because that's how Niantic is. So but yeah, no, that is that. And let's go ahead and talk about the Hoopa's arrival September 5th, Incense Day for Hoopa specifically. So what did you do, Chris? I mean, you never really talked about it, how we were going
I was at work
the entire time.
So I was very scared. I was like, am I going to be able to collect all these? So I threw an incense and I was able to catch everything.
Yeah.
I think they had 1 hour incenses for that time. I don't know if that was special for the event or if that's like a commonality right now. But I was able to catch a little bit from each of the different zones. From the dark in the psychic zone, or the dark and ghost zone in the psychic zone. Very good spawns. I was able to complete it without too much trouble. But yeah, as being somebody that's at work for that time period,
right,
it was a bit annoying. I wish they gave a little bit more of a window. I don't know. It's weird because the only thing I can think is if you were able to have like a start timer for your event on your own, but I know that would be pretty hard to set up, you know, because either Niantic has to worry about everybody doing it at once or people each running different timers constantly. But yeah, that's the only thing I can think that would fix that. I know a lot of people are complaining that 8 hours for the people at work was really just screwed up, but you know, that's just kind of how it goes sometimes.
Well, I can agree on that just because of people who actually does work on Sundays, you know. The reason why it's on a Sunday is because they're trying to make it more available for players as much as possible. Not everybody works on Sundays, but like a lot
That's
of
true.
the popularity does. So, but I can get your point of saying that this could be had been a 8-hour event instead of just a 6-hour event. Could have actually helped out the player a little bit more. So yeah, I can understand that. For me, I did go out for the first 3 hours of the event to see what it is. Now, I thought that we were going to get like special spawn Pokemons on Pokestops. All I got was Pokeballs. Pokeballs, Great Balls, Ultra Balls. They're all the special tasks for the event. So there wasn't anything that really I could do. Now, it was helpful to restock. And, you know, thank God, because I always wanted to restock on my Pokeballs. But I'm always usually only looking for Pokeballs, not Great Balls or Ultra Balls, just because my Gold Plus runs like in the background almost every single day anyways. So it wasn't like I really need to play it, but, you know, I went out and tried to actually play the event. Some of the spawns were actually spawning in the wild. You see every now and then a wild Eldum, a wild Espeon, a wild Galarian Ponyta out there. So it was actually pretty cool to see those Pokemons. But they weren't as frequent as the ones from the incest. But at the same time, those Pokemon that I mentioned were actually the rarest to see out of the incest anyway. So that's why I wasn't like super big. I wasn't super big on going the full 6 hours, because in the end of the day, it was like, there wasn't really much that I wanted to catch, aside from a few other things, like maybe Sableye, maybe a couple other things, but it wasn't like I needed to be out there. Like, I could have played from home and it would have been just fine, and things could have been just probably a bit better, but in the end of the day, I did go out 3 hours. I did complete the research pretty early. We did get our Hoopas. So this was actually the very first next step in the special research that Professor Willard is basically completing throughout the entire event. I actually kind of like the structure. I kind of want to see how they implement more and more as the season goes along. But I'm happy that at least everybody in the same time period got their Hoopa, their very first confined Hoopa, because there's another form of this, definitely. Mine were crappy. I know, right? Mine were crappy ABs. I got a 10, 12, 12. What do you got, Chris?
I got a 10, 14, 12, which didn't surprise me.
Yeah, no, I didn't. I wasn't expecting that much either, but yikes.
Yeah, it goes to 1492, so I'm not like completely disappointed with it. And they said we should have chances to get in the future. Do we know if it's going to be from raids or anything? No,
but we'll see.
Hopefully,
probably EX if they really want to go bring it back or something like that.
I can see that.
Yeah, I think my friend got a 98. 15, 15, 14, something like
15 attack. Yeah, that's the way to go.
I think it was 15 attack, 15, 14, 15. But still, I'm like, I hate you. Anyways,
we are no longer friends.
I gotta live with him soon, but So, but yeah, no. Like I said, it wasn't too bad of an event, but at the same time, it wasn't like I needed to really go out there and play the entire time. I could have to grind out a lot of different things, but again, there wasn't really that much I wanted. Like, most of the shinies in the pools were already attainable, and I already had them, so. It kind of was like a letdown in that regard. If there was maybe a special raid or something, maybe I would have been able to a little more prompt to go out and play it. But I know Niantic is trying to lower their intakes on raids after everything that's going on since last month anyway. So
yeah, it did feel like the whole event could be done on only one incense, especially if you threw it at the right time. I mean, that's what I did from work too. So I didn't think you had to get like too lucky with it, but I can definitely see where people would get very unlucky, because it took a while for me to get a Drifloon, because we had the weather boost for Alolan Rattata, so I just kept getting that.
Yeah, that was the only thing that spawned out of that day. And in all sense, I also ran the Gold Plus for most of the time, so I wasn't even fully checking on most of the Pokemons. I was getting lucky on some of the catches. We did have the bonus of double transfer candy, so I did transfer my entire haul from literally the last 30 days, plus some Dialgas and Pockets and things like that. So I do have quite a bit. I got 600 Dialga extra large candy, dude.
Holy cow!
That's actually scary for myself. I'm actually scared that I did that many. Anyways, it
had to be done.
It had to be done. But yeah, like I said, it wasn't too bad in the end of the year. I kind of rate this Hoopa's arrival event. I want to say I give it a 7, maybe a 6 if I'm really surprising about it, because there wasn't really that much special stuff around it. So, what do you think, Chris?
Yeah, I think it was a pretty nice event overall.
Whoa!
I thought they made it.
Shiny Spinda from the quest!
Yo!
Another shiny, yay! I was not expecting that. Oh my god. I don't know why I actually Nana buried this thing. Oh my.
You gotta.
It wasn't even Savage Season, but still, I was not expecting that. I just wanted to complete the quest. That's all I wanted to do. Oh my lord!
You didn't want the shiny, okay?
I mean, I already have one shiny, so this is actually pretty cool, because now I got a tradable one. I'm gonna screenshot that. That's pretty cool. But yeah, there you go, guys. Shiny Spinda and podcast. Yay! Sorry, what were you saying before you got interrupted?
I do think this event overall was pretty fun. They made it super easy to get Hoopa. I know we were talking about how it was probably gonna have like a big time limit on it.
Yeah,
you could literally get it in like an hour.
Yeah, So
pretty easy.
That was also pretty good. From just saying everybody got it. Everybody just don't quote it at anybody and just like get your Hoopas and be done with it, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So. I can agree on that. Again, I don't rate it that high just because the event itself wasn't like crazy. We did have the background once again for Hoopa, so we're probably gonna see it throughout the season of Mischief, the new sky background with Hoopas ring around it, just because of how things are these days. So that will be interesting until the end of the season, and hopefully they do think about maybe putting Unbound Hoopa in there too.
One day. I think he looks so cooler.
I think that might be the last task of the season of the season. That might be, just because
I could see that.
If they're trying to like space it out this way, having to wait this long until the end of the season may actually be possible, And you do have to complete every single step to get it.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, this quest is not going to go away, guys. You can open the game and actually do it as much as possible. It is harder to do it outside of events, but it's still doable and possible if you even do it without the events. So just work through it little by little. Just don't forget about it, but that's basically it. So yeah, pretty cool. All right, so we're done with the recaps. Let's go ahead and get into the research topics because we got a quite full of events happening pretty soon and some responses here. Now, just like we mentioned in the last podcast, and we know that Niantic was going to give us a full response on September 1st about their internal task force and how they were going to really handle the community going forward and the effects of the changes and everything. So we knew that 80 meters is now the permanent base distance in Pokemon Go, no matter where you are, no matter how it is. It would be, and it's always going to be 80 meters. Let's completely forget about 40 meters because that's never going to happen ever again. They did say by this blog post that they posted that 80 meters will be the full base interaction for Pokesummon gyms from here on out. So even if you play the game before or after, this is what you're going to get. All right, so let's go ahead and go through the blog post real quick. Not to dwell too much into what they say, they definitely had in two different pointers that they're definitely going to be discussing. The first one, of course, was the 80 meters and how they responded to this. So we understand that the increased 80 meter interaction distance became a welcome benefit for many players. That is clear from our feedback that we saw the community. We want to keep it, as announced last week, 80 meters, not 40 meters, will be the base interaction radius for Pokemons and gyms globally from now on. So that means to say, again, it is fully permanent from here on out. They still believe that in the importance of discovering interesting places and things in the real world, and we don't want to lose sight of that. The team and I guess, the team and the producer that's actually speaking for this blog post is eager to develop new ways to motivate and reward trainers for exploring and exercising in the real world. As a result of that's where we have new ideas to explore, and we look forward to sharing more in the coming months. So we knew this. We knew they were working on it. We know that they're going to be working on how exploration, which is the core pillars of Niantic, really incentivizing to go out and explore and things like that. So based on this, real quick, Chris, before we continue, what do you think so far about their full response to what they're expecting, what we're expecting from them from here on out?
I think personally, I really like this response. They had to respond. And we knew it was going to take a little bit of time. I think they gave a pretty good answer. It just really depends on how they actually hold it up.
Right.
Because they're like a boyfriend, a bad boyfriend.
Mm-hmm.
I need to change. Well, are you going to change, or are you just going to talk about it?
Right. So basically,
we'll
actions speak louder than words. So that's basically what we're saying. So Yeah, I can understand that too, and we'll see. You know, we don't know what their future plans are, but I am excited to see that this was the beginning to, changing something that should have been changed for a while, but we definitely got rewarded by speaking out in that regard. So,
Yeah.
in all senses, I'm excited to see what other interactions it is to actually go out and play. Because, I mean, let's be honest, yes, there's still a pandemic. We still have to stay safe. But at the same time, we can't just be cooped up and play Pokemon Go all day. It is an exploration game. We want to go out. We want to play with friends. We want to meet up with people that we never have meet before, if people want to meet us, of course. But we want to go to those points, and we definitely want to get to go back to in-person events, live events, and things like that, which we'll mention probably later in the podcast, anyways. But yeah, that's basically the sense of their future updates to interacting, exploring, and things like that. All right. With that being said, let's go into the second bit of the news, which is the season global bonuses. So it says right here, we went through a rough learning experience recently when we had to adjust the game settings for New Zealand quickly in response to their lockdown. As you guys know, New Zealand is in a pretty heavy lockdown, so people really can't go out and play just for exercising and things like that. So they had to change that before the actual announcement. This experience taught us that we are not going to be able to efficiently adjust the experience on country by country basis in real time. Starting with the season of mischiefs, all bonuses will be set at a global level and will be tied directly to the seasons in Pokemon Go, and then definitely go to the bonuses in the blog post and things like that. So this basically are saying that all the bonuses that basically were special bonuses at the time are now always going to be tied to the season specifically. Not changing anything when it comes to the interaction distance, because that is not a bonus anymore. That is actually what the set game is. Any extra bonuses that we're going to see in any of the seasons are going to be implemented globally at a grander scale, instead of just country by country basis when it comes down to how the pandemic usually really divided a lot of those things. So I'm actually glad about this. That means that we have a full on lookout of what to expect and how they're going to be handling this from here on out. What do you think, Chris?
I do think this is gonna help people not kind of think other places are getting special treatment. The only concern I have right now is that maybe one place is a lot worse than other places, so they don't, I don't know, accommodate them
Right.
as well.
Right.
I know that was a problem with a lot of people with all the COVID cases going on a while ago.
Yeah.
And that's part of the reason we want to get the distance for those places especially. But I don't know. I can't really say anything bad until like I see it happening. So I'm definitely excited though that it's all tied together, because that should make it a lot easier for them, instead of just, them looking at each area and determining what they want to do.
Yeah, and this was also like a response to, how they say, okay, New Zealand's and the United States are going to have their bonus changes at the beginning of August, and then everywhere else is going to keep the bonus changes as from previously until we see more feedback. Well, the feedback was there, and there's definitely
Yeah, you
something.
got your feedback.
Yeah, so when it comes down to it, New Zealand did have to have a pretty heavy lockdown, as we mentioned before, and they had to adjust to that. So at the end of the day, it was just us in the United States that were really suffering from the changes, because everybody else around the world had their moment to shine, and we were just left in the dust. So they didn't want to actually get to that point, and I think Niantic pretty much learned that that was not the case in the end of the day. So I'm glad that most of the bonuses will be tied to seasons, because that means that at the beginning of each season, we're going to have a blog post that's going to underline every single bonuses that we're going to have during the time of, and not to tie it to anything that is supposed to be base interactions. Just like I keep mentioning, that the Pokemon distance will stay the same. A lot of other things are probably going to stay the same, but aside from that, which was the major concern of the community, I think that the other bonuses can be adjusted based on how the season goes and grows. So that's pretty good in that regard, and then that helps everybody in that regard. So we'll find out sooner or later. Well, we do have the bonuses here in the today view, so we know exactly what we're expecting and having from here on out. And remote race is still a thing, and then boosted damage for trainers doing remotely is still a thing. So we still don't know if that's going to be changeable, but that may be something that in the future we may see another change, because it's not really core Niantic to play and do raids from home. So I still expect that to change. I don't know when, but we'll see when it comes. So
yeah, the easiest thing for them to change on that would just be lowering the amount of damage that you do from remote raids, which they already said was supposed to be the way they worked in the past.
Yeah, and see what other benefits really points out to the in-person raids instead of remote raiding. So I believe this should be an incentive to actually go out more than to be able to stay, because if you have more than enough people, you can just buy your 5 people from the remote, and then just you can just do it. It doesn't matter what you do, just expand in that sense and you'll be fine. But that also means that you have to be careful how rewarding it is to go out and play. I do believe that that's going to be the real incentive if they ever change that. So, all right, and then the final piece of information that they gave us here on the blog post. Communication. So we should be communicating and engaging more with trainers. I hope that with your patience and understanding, we can do better here. There are many ways that we can improve, but to start, we're making the following commitments to you. So these are commitments. They are not changes as of today. So starting in October, we'll begin publishing a developer diary every other month to share the latest priorities, events, and features for the game. They're also going to set up a regular conversation with community leaders to continue the dialogue we began this month. And we will continue to work on updating our known issues page. In those efforts, we'll prioritize bringing greater visibility into the status of existing bugs for trainers. Simple and easy. They're basically going to communicate a little bit better than they were previously doing. I'm happy to say that their blog post will probably give us some insights on what's to come instead of what to expect and be surprised about in the end of the day, and how they're going to move forward and things like that. And also their conversations with other leaders is really, really helpful, because that means that they're willing to share information to people that usually they play this game every single day. Not usually, they play every single day. So those leaders technically are the voice of the community, so I'm glad that they're definitely wanting to continue expanding on that, growing with it, hopefully opening up new possibilities for Niantic to really be in touch with their community and how well they work. Now, the known issues page, again, it's there to know what kind of bugs and fixes are supposed to happen in Pokemon Go. I hope they can implement that a little bit more insight on exactly when or how we're going to see changes or fixes to glitches and known issues in the game. So, in that end of the day, they're just commitments. I don't see nothing until I see it myself. What do you think, Chris?
I know one of the concerns I've heard, at least seen on Twitter, is that people are wanting to know which community leaders they're going to be talking to.
Right.
I think they're getting a pretty broad one. I mean, I've only heard of 2 so far, Zionic and Zoe 2 Dots. I'm sure there's many, many more. But I think we're going to get people that play the game in a bunch of different ways, not just PvPers, not just, the normal grinder. So I'm very interested to see how this all pans out. It sounds like they're trying to get a really good relationship with their player base, and that is a very solid foundation for a game to have.
Yes, definitely. A lot of people are also been saying that this was supposed to be, implemented from the very beginning. That Niantic's supposed to actually be part of the community, always listen to their community and things like that. So, in the end of the day, we understand that Niantic is a company. A company has to make money to make sure that they can keep a game alive and well for the foreseeable future. But I'm glad to see that there will be changes in their communications. I do hope that they can find a team to not just respond through a automated system most of the time, but that's, just again, there's millions of players out there playing this game. And there's definitely, not enough people in Niantic that can handle literal feedback from millions and millions of players out there. So I can understand that some changes can be implemented, but as long as, the community is really voiceable about it and also understands that Niantic has to, of course, work with a live game 24/7. So just keep in mind out there what exactly is that we're hoping to see from their commitments from here on out. So yeah, that is basically it when it comes down to it, Just a final response from the executive producer who wrote this blog. We love how passionate Pokemon Go trainers are about this game, and we want to know how passionate we are about the game and the community as well. The lack of communication regarding the Pokestop and gym interactions was not handled well on our part, and it was great learning experience on how to better engage with our players moving forward. Our top priority is and always has been to get people outside into the real world and creating human interactions with each other. Thank you for being part of this journey with us. You'll hear from us soon. So, like I said, this is not like a response from like the whole Niantic and Pokemon Go team. This is actually from the executive producer, and he's specifically talking how they want to change for the better of the community. So with that being said, I'm glad that they responded. We'll definitely are going to hold our breaths a little bit longer on their commitments, but I'm seeing a bright future, at least a small, tiny bit bright future still coming up, hopefully in the next few months and next few days. So
a lot to look forward to, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So with that being said, that it was the response that we got from them. Let's go ahead and talk about the next event. It's time some actual Pokemon Go news out here, guys. And this is what, Chris?
Well. You made a very good prediction on this one.
Right.
Inkay and Malamar make their Pokemon Go debut during the Psychic Spectacular. Oh boy.
The Psychic Spectacular. There. Now you guys can understand. Now you guys can understand by looking at the game right now that what you need to do to actually get Inkay into Pokemon Go.
Oh my god.
But
flip the screen if you guys don't know.
Anybody listening in podcast services, yes, that's basically what you're supposed to do. So Inkay and Malabar are coming into Pokemon Go. The reason why the game is like that is because Inkay's ability to evolve requires you to flip your game upside down to evolve it. Now, is this mechanic really going to come into Pokemon Go? We'll wait and see it when it actually comes out, which is actually not too far from here. But yeah, so when is this starting? So this starts on Wednesday, September 8th, 10 a.m. local time, and ends on Monday, September 13th at 8 p.m. local time. So the features, Inkay and its evolution Malamar will be making its Pokemon Go debuts. Inkay will have an only under unique circumstances, or evolve in under only unique circumstances. I don't know how to talk today for some reason. Trainers who have journeyed through the Kalos region of Pokemon X and Y may have an inkling as to what those circumstances might be. Well, I already told you what it is, but you know what I meant. The next part of the Season of Mischiefs, the special research story, Misunderstood Mischiefs will unlock. Something's got psychic type Pokemons all worked up, and they're appearing more often in the wild. Sounds like the perfect opportunity to learn more about them. You never know. What might we learn more about Hoopa as well? Interesting. Even though we already got Hoopa, so I don't know what else they can really unfold here.
Oh, I think you already hinted at it a little bit earlier.
What? Give me a clue.
That you think it might have to do with the Unbound.
It could possibly be to that point. Maybe we do require something to either get an Unbound or transform it to Unbound form. You never know. But we'll see. Psychic type Pokemon like Abra, Drowsy, Tita, Solosis, and more will appear more frequently in the wild. If you're lucky, you might encounter others like Elgyem and Inkay. I'll definitely take the Inkay. Don't give me the Elgyem. I've seen enough Elgyms for the last 3 months that I don't want to see anymore again.
It'd almost be like a slap in the face if they made it shiny now after that last event.
Oh my god.
It won't be though. I don't think so.
It could be cool if they actually put like Gothita Solosis shiny out there too, but they're not mentioning it in the blog post, so I'm not actually holding my breath when it comes down to it. So interesting to say they may not be shiny, guys, until we see it. You never know. Psychic type Pokemon will appear in raids throughout the events. Staryu, Chimchar, Bronzong, Esper, and Ninkay will be appearing in 1-star raids. Alola Raichu, Wobbuffet, and Medicham and Metagross will appear in 3-star raids. Lulia will continue to appear in 5-star raids, and Mega Slowbro will continue to appear in Mega raids. So not a lot of changes, just to base overall raids out there. I'm already
Metagross.
Metagross is pretty cool if you want to get a little extra large candies out there. If it's shiny possible, which I don't think it will be because it has half a Mega comes out, then I think everybody will actually be doing Metagross from here on out. But the Mega, it seems more likely to become shiny possible in the wild in that sense, or in the raids.
I agree. Yeah, I'd just save your passes if you're looking for the shiny and the extra large candy at the same time. If you're just grinding extra large candy, you should get 2 per Metagross.
Yeah, definitely. By completing theme field research stats, you can encounter event team Pokemon like Woobat, Inkay, and more. Take a snapshot once a day for a surprise. I'm pretty sure it's going to be Inkay. And then we got stickers in the shop for Inkay and other Avatar-related Psychic-type Pokemons. So overall,
that sticker looks beautiful.
I know, right? I know. So that's the Psychic event 2021. Brand new Pokemon to catch, evolve, understand. Malamar does have the unique typing of Psychic and Dark type, which is only weak to Fairy and 4 times weakness to Bugs. So that's interesting to say. I don't know how well it's going to pair out in the PvP meta or anything like that. Do you have any ideas there, Chris?
Malamar as a Pokemon looks like it's got amazing type. Other than that, I haven't really looked at the rankings.
Well, we haven't really seen what moves and stats it really has, so...
I mean, the only thing that he's really scared of is, Bug.
Yeah.
And Bug isn't, like, the craziest common type.
Right.
For people to run, and then Charm, for sure. Like everybody's scared of Charm though. So, let me take a look if they have it on here yet. Oh, it's actually kind of low. It's 157. It kind of gets It has a very bad quick move. Very bad quick move. It has Psycho Cut, Superpower, and Foul Play. I am very interested in Superpower, but it definitely needs a better quick move. If it got like Confusion or something, that'd be pretty dope. It beats Galarian Stunfisk, Bastiodon, Swampert, Scrafty, and Hypno though. So being able to beat Stunfisk and Bastiodon is freaking huge in this meta.
Interesting. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see how it really pans out. I don't see it even a competitor in race just because of its typing. So I don't know. I do like how Inkay's evolution and everything should be changing how we play the game, but I don't see it being a super big contender. But I could always been wrong. So we'll see when that happens on Wednesday. You'll let me know for sure next week, right, Chris?
Yes, yeah. If they get a move mix up, it should be OP. But yeah, for now it's kind of eh.
Yeah, definitely. All right, so with that being said, that is a Psychic event happening on Wednesday. Make sure you let us know what kind of cool things you get and catch, and if there's anything cool that we may want to hunt for, let us know as soon as possible. But let's get ahead and go into our last bit of news for this week, and this is actually a very interesting one because the Safari Zones that were dated for 2020 are finally being rescheduled for live events out there in the world. So as you guys know, in 2020, we were supposed to have 3 different safari zones, one in Liverpool, another one in Philadelphia, and another one in St. Louis. 2 in the 2 in the United States, and another one in England, or UK, I guess. That being said, because of the pandemic, all of that got completely canceled, and we had in-home events that you actually could play throughout the time and all of those. So, but now they're rescheduled, and these are the dates for each one of the safari zones. So for Liverpool, and it's now scheduled for Friday, October 15 to Sunday, October 17 in Central Park. For Philadelphia, which was the one that I was hoping to go to last year, it will be on Friday, October 29 to Sunday, October 31st in Fairmount Park. And then Safari Zone St. Louis will now be scheduled from Friday, November 12 to Sunday, November 14 in Tower Grove Park. It says right here, additionally, the start and end times of the Safari Zone in St. Louis have shifted 1 hour earlier to provide the best possible on-site experience. And then, of course, updated event hours are reflected on your tickets. So, to say the least. So, real quick before I get into what each one of the features out there, or the features for the Safari Zones, what do you think, Chris? Is it really okay to reschedule something like this, or has it been a long time coming because it's been over a year now?
I mean, when they gave us the event at home a while ago, I think they called it something like the at home experience or something. I forget what they called it. They called it like a pre-experience.
Right.
And I think they said they were going to push it back. We didn't know they'd have to push it back this far. I'd say my biggest gripe with this is that we didn't really get as much warning as I would have liked to get, honestly. And I think part of that is they don't really want a lot of people showing up at these places. In all honesty, that's what I think it is. I'm very interested to see if people, kind of complain and try to get another at-home experience out of it. But honestly, there hasn't been too much outcry. I mean, we already got an event out of it. You don't need a second one out of it,
Well, they did promise.
Not that I wouldn't like to get it.
Right. They did promise that they're going to reschedule this. No matter how long it takes them to reschedule, they were going to reschedule this. I do agree that their timing is a little bit off because they're giving us less than a month to really plan this out, depending on where you're going. And also, or maybe just a little bit more than a month, but still, that's not too much to say because most of the time, whenever we have an event happening, we have quite a bit of months to plan it out, schedule it, things like that, get tickets to fly out or things like that. But I don't know. I mean, unfortunately, I am not able to attend the original Safari Zone in Philadelphia. That was my main one that I wanted to go to. I even had tickets to go, fly out and all that stuff. So I was ready to go until the pandemic kind of canceled everything at that point. Which, again, it was kind of sad. But at the same time, I was always hoping to go to Philadelphia when this whole thing ended, or at least be able to do it safely in that regard. Now that I know the dates for the next one, unfortunately, I don't have enough time or PTO in my workplace to actually go out anymore. So I will have to skip the in-person events, but I can still play as follow, because it says right here, ticket holders will be able to enjoy the following features whenever they participate in a in-person event or play globally. So if you have a ticket, you will actually be featured to those spawns and things that were mentioned here in just a second.
Interesting.
There is, though, this reasoning that they will not be selling any more tickets after that. Whatever you got back then was the only time you were able to get them, but unfortunately they're not opening up for other trainers that wanted to rejoin us to these events again. So, which kind of sucks, but at the same time, it kind of is understandable. They don't want to actually populate more events or more to the events that they technically were supposed to end out a long while ago. So the features will be feature Pokemon who appear in the wild and attracted to incense. You'll be able to complete event exclusive special research and field research tasks. and it says activated during the event, hours will last for 8 hours. Lure modules activated during the event, hours will last for 4 hours. Special 2KMs will be available, and Safari Zone Philadelphia ticket holders take a snapshot for a surprise. Cool. That means that I'm actually able to get something different from the other Safari Zones.
I didn't even see this before the podcast. I definitely understand why people aren't complaining. Since we get some more at-home experience.
Yes. So you'll be able to play globally when it comes down to it. It doesn't matter if you are going there or not. However, if you want to go to any of the in-person events, I would suggest to RSVP to the event's website. There is website in the blog post. And, well, I want to say ASAP, I want to say no, because not a lot of people are actually planning to go. The only ones that are really prompt to go are probably the ones that are really have the time in their lives and, be able to plan out anything in any points of time. But that's just my perspective when it comes down to it. But they do want to make sure that they have a actual head count of how many people are they. Do remember we're still in a pandemic, so there's a lot of different things that they may be changing throughout the course before the actual event starts. But again, it's just something when it comes down to it. It says right here, the City Explorer Pass experience have been removed from these events, and those who purchase this add-on will have it refund. Niantic will take initiative of all refunds by October 2nd of 2021, which, I don't know, did I even get that? I don't remember if I bought it that time. City Experience. Oh, yeah, I did get it. City Explorer Pass. So I guess I get a refund here. Maybe some more extra Pokecoins. That's nice from them, because I wanted to go and have the full experience back then in May of the event, so thank you, Niantic. But yeah, again, I don't know if I'm super happy about it, but I'm not really, unfortunately, because I can't attend the one that I was planning to go to. Kind of feels like a letdown in that regard. However, there's a few things that a lot of the other podcasts has been saying and talking about is that, is it really necessary to have the same event spawns that they promised back in the day? Or are we going to have different types of Pokemon Safari Zones in that type? I don't even remember at this point what were the Safari Zone events and spawns.
For us, I remember we had Rowlet, and I don't think it had a shiny chance before, but now that he is shiny, it is kind of interesting if that happens.
I think I remember that the Rowlet was a special research encounter and a photograph encounter, and that was the only two you can get throughout the event.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe two more possibilities. I think they also gave us a guaranteed shiny Bolter. And Sandshrew was spawning in the wild. Mr. Mime was spawning in so
very good spawns all around. I do remember.
The Unknown was also another one. I don't know if they'll probably make it. I don't think they'll make it shiny available for this time around. So that's an understatement when it comes down to it. However, if you do have a ticket, just make sure you get through your refunds, and if not, just play the event. I mean, another event that you'll definitely have fun for during the times off. So, trust me, guys, if we wanted to, if we could have, we would have gone to those events ourselves. Just unfortunately, we still feel like it's not the right time, and the time period for this is just too short for us to be able to take the days off and all that. So, it is what it is when it comes down to it, right, Chris?
Yeah. I'm definitely excited for that event, even if we don't get to go in person. I would have liked to go in person too, but yeah, no, I can't right now.
Yeah, it's almost impossible at this point, but it is what it is. But yeah. All right, when it comes down to it, that is that. Let us know what you guys feel about the Safari Zones events and all that. We'll see if there's any changes, and we'll definitely let you know before those events start. All right, Chris, time to get good, get red. Here we go, Chris.
Ooh. Oh, boy.
All right, so Season 9 has been live since Monday, actually, Monday of last week. Have you seen anything? Because I literally haven't even touched GBL this week.
Yeah, I've been doing a bunch of little battles. I think I'm currently rank 16.
Oh.
Definitely not as high as some of the, more seasoned players, they've already been getting their elo, which you get at rank 20.
Right.
But yeah, it's been pretty nice. The weather ball nerf is definitely noticeable, but they are still out there. I mean, what is it, like 5 energy difference? It's not a huge difference, but that's like one quick move. So you're definitely gonna be able to get more play versus those Pokemon, which is beautiful. Other than that, there's not really too much of a difference that I noticed. I know that they buffed a few moves. I just can't remember what the main one was because I don't see a lot of whatever Pokemon they buffed. You know what I see too much is Jellicent though. So my team is literally just anti him. Like my team right now is I was running Shiftry with Galvantula and Stunfisk Galarian in the back, but I switched it to actually have Galvantula in the front because I kept running into fighter leads. So it's better to have that ABB format instead of getting kind of screwed over because they don't know what you got in the back. But if you switch from a dark type into a bug versus like a Machamp, they're just gonna punch you down. It don't matter.
Yeah,
horrible.
definitely. Well, one thing's for sure. The only time I touched it is when I actually got that rank 1 Pidgeot from Sunday's event. I was out in the wild and just got a Pidgey, and then all of a sudden it was a rank 1 for it. So I was like, hey, it's I could finally play this. It's free, and oh man, that was just funny as heck that I actually got that. So I tried it out. It's actually pretty good. The nerf on is move feather dance. That's kind of seemed a little bit different now. It does take a little bit longer to charge, so but it's still a powerful Pokemon because it has little weaknesses when it comes down to it, unless you run into an Ice type or an Electric type, which I've seen little of it so far, but that's because I'm only in the lower ranks. So I don't know. Maybe I'll have some motivation to actually play some GBL if I do it throughout my streams and all that. So we'll see. And do you have any updates on your factions there, Chris?
Oh boy, I actually didn't realize like how well we were doing. You get a certain amount of points for every little bit of wins you get versus teams. So right now we are currently tied for first. Technically, we're losing the Bullshults for first place.
All right.
So we are one of the 4 teams tied with 9 points for first in our league. I don't know what it's called. We're not in like the higher tiers, but we should be promoted after this season, so I'm pretty excited about that.
Nice.
But like the top one is Texas PvP with 42 wins, and that's across all their players. Not 42 wins against like 42 wins out of all the games they played.
Right.
Swell Sprouts is 38 wins. Fletchlander Ella Story, I love that name, has 37 wins, and then Switchmasters, which is ours, has 36 wins.
Okay.
So we can take that first place, especially if we get paired up against Texas PvP and somehow win that. But we should be getting matched up against one of them in the next bout, I believe, and then it's going to be a fight for first place.
It's a fight for survival.
Next 2 bouts. Dude, I'm super excited. I'm super glad with how the team's been doing. It's been really close. This week we had to fight Take a Chancey on me, and we barely pulled it out with 11 to 10.
Oh.
So it came down to every single win.
To the
so I'm very happy with our squad.
Nice. Well, that's great to hear. I hope that you can continue the streak and go the distance to the end. So congratulations out there, team. Congratulations there. But with that being said, I do believe that that is it for the night. I think that we cover everything, and I don't know if there's anything more so far. I do hope that there's more to it. It's not that I want to say this. I've been playing Pokemon Go, like definitely been playing Pokemon Go, but haven't really grind out the game as much as I want to. I'm still the grind to level 50. I'm still like quite a bit away from level 49, and then of course 50, which is the last one. I got to do a couple extra trades and do the final tasks out there, but overall, I feel like the game is just on a slow grind until something cool or bigger comes out in the next few ones. We definitely are going to see the Lake Trio come up in shiny form pretty soon, so that's going to be exciting. But with that being said, of course, there's more to it, and hopefully take a little break from spending into the game and things like that. So with that being said, I do believe that's it. Anything else you want to add, Chris?
Yeah, I guess there's a lot of people already preparing for the next push of XP for level 60 because they'll be like really sticklers about opening gifts and everything. So you never know. They could flip the switch again in a year. But yeah, keep grinding your XP. Get the shinies, get that shiny Spinda if you need it. And yeah, I hope you guys have a fantastic week. We'll see you next time.
Thank you very much for listening, everybody. Don't forget to check us out on the podcast services feeds, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and all those places. If you leave us a review, we would greatly appreciate it. Don't forget to follow us on our social medias, myself and Pure Lighter Go. Almost say Pokemon Go again. And Chris at Pokemon Trigger Please. That's PKMN Trigger Please. Don't forget, you can always email us to the Purified Podcast at gmail.com. And don't forget to check us out at the purifiedpodcast.com, the Professor Network. And that being said, I think Chris finalized our end of the week of today. So we'll see you guys next time. Keep purifying them. Oh my God. And have yourselves a good night.